special requests they've received over the years. You'll be amazed what their skilled crew can do. Barbecue grills to grills for classic cars. Sky's the limit. Speaking of sky, that's a lot of smoke up there. And uh-oh, fire in the hole. My steak. So long, sirloin. Metal Supermarkets, the local convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
Think a quality golf cart is out of your budget? Think again. At the Golf Cart People, we have a fantastic selection of fully inspected, pre-owned carts starting at just $4,500. Choose from gas, electric, or lithium-ion power to fit your lifestyle. And the best part, every used cart comes with a 1-year warranty for total peace of mind. Why wait? Get the cart you've always wanted today. Visit the Golf Cart People. Find out more at golfcartpeople.com.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Author, musical connoisseur, sports know-it-all. Yes, a man for all seasons.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Today's show, NFL quarterback rankings are all over the place. There's a top 4, but what's the order? And who's number 1? Plus, Elks on the road against the tough opponent this weekend. And how many roster spots are locks on the Edmonton Oilers? I believe it's fewer than you think. Lowdown with Lowetide brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube. Wolf GMC Buick, family-owned, community-driven. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. Our headliner of the day, Kevin McCurdy, at 1:20 today at NCAA and Declan CAA on Declinations today at 1:40. We're live on Radio Player Canada, iHeartRadio, and sports1440.ca, as well as the radio, 1440 AM, and YouTube. And after the show, Apple and Spotify podcasts. We're also on Twitter. We tweet that out. We're on Twitter at Lowetide, at Declan Krueger, and at JFenwick04. Our subjects today, NFL quarterbacks, Oilers roster spots, Elks in Montreal. Do we have 3 people or 2 people aside from me in the room?
Certainly seems like just 2 other people as of right now, but he might have run out to get his lunch or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, we're going to introduce him and then talk about him.
Sure.
Okay. He's well-educated, normal, smart, quick on his feet, and doesn't cost the company a dime. He's your basic nightmare. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Connor Spivak. Connor Spivak, what are we going to do about this guy?
Really, it's like, listen, I'm going to quote Eddie Steele here. As soon as you sign, they're looking to get younger and cheaper. That's basically what's going on here.
I'm looking for negatives, you know.
No, he's younger and cheaper.
I was going to key his car, but he comes in by helicopter.
No, bus.
Oh, all right. He's fun, humorous, has a wide range of knowledge on many subjects, and rarely complains about anything. Plus, the company hired him, so the clock is ticking for me. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Fenwick. Josh Fenwick, everybody. Declan, what are we going to do about this guy?
Nothing you can do.
Nothing you can. Inevitable.
Yeah, I guess.
No, I feel like with you should be worried. No question about it. I feel like me and Josh work a little bit more as a cohesive unit.
Right.
Like you're the odd one out.
I'm the third.
We're Wade and Bosch. You know what I mean?
Like I'm not even Daryl or the other brother Daryl. I'm the other guy.
You're Mike Miller. You know?
Right. Exactly.
Shane Batty.
He has knowledge no one else in the building possesses, is above average in all things, is aggressive in his career goals, and it's only a matter of time for pretty much everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Declan Krueger. Declan Krueger.
Thank you. Very kind intro for all 3 of us today. I appreciate you giving us your
only
props.
hope with
Him
you.
and Karen were fighting last night. And she said you're too mean to the young guys.
No, that's actually we haven't talked about that lately, but probably
she told him to spend more time at home, and he started to massage us a little bit.
My only hope for you, Declan, is that you get a job like at TSN or ESPN or one of those big PMs.
Well, I appreciate that greatly.
Yeah.
Listen, I've said this for 3 years now. There are a lot of, I think, old people who are a little bit grouchier about things, but you have consistently gone to bat for young people, and it is appreciated. So
if you get a job at ESPN, I'm calling you a sellout.
That's fine, baby.
The only words I heard for your entire retort there were old people. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, old people don't look at themselves as old people. Did you know that? You'll get here.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you're not even that old. Like, truthfully, like, I remember when I was like a kid, 6, 7, 8. thinking someone in their 60s was ancient.
Right.
But you get a little older and you realize 60 is actually still comparatively young in the grand scheme of things.
People are still having kids at 60.
I always thought old people had peppermints in their pockets because everybody I knew did that who was over a certain age.
I remember one time an old lady, she must have been in her 80s. She gave me like a Werther's original.
Oh, man.
And I remember thinking like, aren't we not supposed to take candy from strangers? But I did it anyway. So.
Classic old person move.
Yeah.
The Werther's original. Like
that's a good one, though. I mean, that's a
they are
compelling treat.
Listen, they did not need to branch out. They did bless up for Werther's, but they didn't need to branch out and do more stuff.
Or, when they bubble, toil and trouble, that mix, it's really good.
Yeah, the caramel candy. Oof.
Okay, the Athletic has done their poll of NFL quarterbacks. The results are in. Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow commanded 191 of a possible 200 top-tier votes from a panel of 50 coaches and executives. So those four are 1, 2, 3, 4. They're Mahomes, Allen, Stafford, Burrow. The order I thought you guys might be interested in. Do you want to
hear?
Can
we guess?
Sure.
I think Josh Allen's going to be number 1.
You think so?
So you didn't give it to us in order, correct?
I did give it to you.
You did. So it is Mahomes.
Mahomes is number 1, which I thought would be a real big talking point.
I think that's such an unbelievable legacy vote, which is credit to him for building this legacy he's already built at such young of an age. But 2018 to 2022, Pat Mahomes is not taking the field anymore. Like, we now have 2 to 3 years of evidence of not that guy playing on Sundays.
The defensive coach who was quoted in the article said, I still think he's number 1, but this year will show. But I feel like my own opinion is that Josh Allen is number 1. And the only thing that's keeping him from that is a Super Bowl. And Super Bowls are hard to get. And sometimes the best quarterback doesn't win it, Dan Marino. Does everybody here agree that Josh Allen should be number 1?
Listen, I think it's a fine pick. We did this exercise the other day. I had Lamar a little bit higher. I'm not going to argue about Josh Allen.
Lamar is 5th, by the way.
Yeah. Like, the thing with Josh Allen is I know that Pat Mahomes has a way better trophy case, but you simply cannot tell me on August 5th, 2026, if you're taking one of those two quarterbacks right now, you're taking Pat Mahomes over Josh Allen. What have we seen in the last I know he's got all the Super Bowls and a bunch of MVPs. I get that. That's not lost on me. But there is nothing in the past 2 seasons to suggest Pat Mahomes is the quarterback I'm taking over Josh Allen. No way.
They've been the Chiefs have been worse every season, or not the Chiefs. Mahomes has statistically been worse. We talk about statistics all the time on this show. Analytically, he is worse every year. You see his numbers drop and they drop and they drop, and you see his ranking drop and all these things. But everyone's still like, oh my God, do you remember when he beat Josh Allen in that 13-second game? Oh my God.
He's owned Josh Allen in the playoffs, so I get it. But like, this isn't 2021 or 2022 or 2018 anymore.
So it's Mahomes, Allen, Stafford, Burrow, Jackson. Then it's Herbert, Prescott, May, and Goff. Do you disagree with any of those picks?
I think the names are right. I think we're starting to get into Jalen Hurts territory. I also think Jaden Daniels. I know he didn't have a great year last year, but I think those are 2 names that probably, if they're not in that tier, they should be in the next tier.
Yeah, it goes after that. It goes Love, Purdy, Williams, and Daniels, and then Mayfield and.
See, now I'm starting to think Jalen Hurts is a little disrespectful.
Darnold and Lawrence, and then it's finally Hurts. So
wow.
I thought it's like 17th.
Caleb Williams, he's a funny one. He could actually, I think, fluctuate quite a fair bit on this list, depending on
the season he has.
Well, and just depending on what argument you want to make, because he's had some really high highs. He's also had some really low IQ lows.
Mm-hmm.
About Hurts, they say, defensive coach says his best plays are off schedule. It will become less sustainable as he gets older. You guys have had criticism about his arm. His brain is fine, or do you think he's a guy who maybe can get outsmarted on the field?
I think he's a guy that can get outsmarted on the field. He might be out there playing checkers while everybody else playing chess.
I don't know if I agree with that too much.
You don't know if I don't know if he reads his progressions very well.
Well, he doesn't, but I don't know if I like that's.
Well, that's the job, though.
Yeah, but that's a tougher skill, like especially in an offense like that where you have like AJ. And Devontae Smith, like a quarterback in that system, it's very easy for it to just be the first 2 reads. Like it's set up that way. I mean, the thing with Jalen is I think he, like the way he calls his own plays, that's what I don't like. Like I don't mind some of the on-field do-it-yourself stuff. I don't like where he goes in to the huddle and says, I'm going to call the play and I'm going to be the OC on it, because I think that's where his limitations lie. Obviously, I think he has some physical limitations playing quarterback, but I think that's probably the biggest knock against him.
Also, I would not take Baker Mayfield over him. I love Baker. That white boy has motion, as they say. But I don't think in good conscience I could take Baker Mayfield over Jalen Hurts.
But a lot of it might have to do with the arm, though, right?
That one's close for me. I think I'd probably take Jalen Hurts as well. But Baker's a dog, man.
But here's
Baker
my
is a
question:
dog.
if he is the 17th best quarterback, what do the Eagles do? Because the Eagles don't like to deploy the 17th best quarterback.
They'll look for a new
Mid-season
one.
trades don't happen.
Maybe they'll make a trade for Baker Mayfield.
This segment has almost like weirdly turned me into a Jalen Hurts defender. Like, I don't believe he's the 17th best quarterback in the league.
I don't think he's top 10, but 17th seems disrespectful.
All right. Well, I'm glad we had a
But
chat about it.
Jaden Daniels had a worse year than him last year. I mean, also he was injured, but he was a sophomore.
But who among the 16 guys ahead of him has less in terms of arsenal available to him?
Oh,
Jaden Daniels.
I would say they almost all have less in terms of
So
arsenal.
that's what I mean.
Or had. I guess AJ Brown departing
Right.
changes that a little bit. But
Okay, but like last year, if you'd placed Baker Mayfield on the Eagles, would that have been better or worse?
I think that would have been. I think that would
see-
have been better. Godwin was out. It might have been worse because I
actually think if both quarterbacks switch, both teams are worse.
Okay,
Interesting.
all right.
I guess so. But also, we've made this point before. And yes, I don't think Jalen Hurts is the greatest quarterback in the world. I don't think he's a bad quarterback, but so much of their issues from last year was that their OC was so incompetent.
Well, he had an
was.
egomaniac wideout.
Yeah,
too.
he had a real problem. So
No.
I don't know how much I can really throw at Jalen Hurts. I don't know if Baker would have been as productive.
Well, it's an interesting conversation. We will continue it as time goes on. I want to check down to Elks. We're getting obviously closer to the weekend. It's already Wednesday because of the day off. I feel like the week is flying on by. Any injury updates? Any starter to backup changes? Anybody going to be featured this weekend, or is it same old, same old?
Well, they're practicing right now. I believe practice runs until 12:55, so we'll wait until the media veil after that to kind of get some news. What I had seen, Nick Anderson trending to coming back, as was David Beard, I believe. I'll have to double check that one. And then Jesus Gomez, who was one of their kickers on the practice squad, he's been moved to the retired list. Daryl Jabome's played very well at that middle linebacker position, better every week, especially as a rookie. But Nick Anderson coming back, there are just levels to the game. You know what I mean? When Nick Anderson is there instead of Daryl Jabome, your linebacking core gets that much of a bump. So that would be the biggest one to look for, I would say.
Want to ask you about this. I'm liking the receivers on this Elks team, but they're not necessarily, in some cases, the guys we thought would be, here. Is it still a fluid situation, or do you think they're coming to grips with the group that they have being the best available?
They've been a pretty good group with the best of it. I don't feel like the injuries have there are a lot of teams you point to injuries and you're saying wow, that team is clearly worse. I don't think the Elks have really been that way. It's not as good, but Daryl Jabome hasn't come in and outside of the BC game been a glaring weakness for the team. I thought Cam Carter and then Joseph Cooper, both coming in to play that right guard position for Coulterwood Manzi, have been very good. I think Mark Corte has played well at center. How about Bradley Hladek at long snapper? None of these injuries are really things you point to week after week and say the Elks are worse there because of it. Now, they may not be as good at tip top, but it hasn't really killed them. This is Declan, by the way.
The Friday, Ottawa plays in Regina, and that's a W probably for the Rough Riders. Elks in Montreal for a tough matchup on Saturday. The standings are close enough for us to care each week. 6-2-0 for Edmonton, 5-2-0 for Saskatchewan. How important is that game against Montreal as a test and also to keep pace with the Rough Riders?
Yeah, it's a really big one because this 3-game stretch has now gone Saskatchewan, Montreal, which is, pretty much the toughest 3-game stretch you can get, especially with 2 of those being away games in the CFL for the Elks. So not only do you not want to go into those 3 games and be 1-2, but I also think playing Montreal off of that Saskatchewan game Like, I know the playoffs in the CFL are a little bit weird, but like at best, you're going to have to play good team in the playoffs. At worst, you're going to have to play good team. So to be able to have a tough week against a really good team where it didn't go your way and bounce back and go to someone else's barn and put up a good performance against them, I think it's going to speak to a lot about what the team is.
All right.
This is Declan, by the way.
Yes. Declan and Josh and Al. And do we have our cohort back? Has he returned?
He's not back yet. The reason I've been saying that is Greater Man Jay texted and he said, I know this is going to stay with Declan a little bit, but my dad just asked, is that the same person arguing with themselves? I can't tell the difference. It kills me.
What I love about that is that would be so cool if we had somebody who was arguing with themselves over things. That's a goal. That's a team goal of this show.
Someone had texted in the only difference between Declan and Josh is Declan says 200 words a minute and Josh says 75. And I think they nailed it.
My brain just works slower. I don't know what to tell you.
The hardest thing in the world. I've been in radio for 46 years. The hardest thing to do is to match up your brain with your mouth.
Yeah, that probably means his takes are better because he has more time to think about it.
No, let's not do this.
Spewing words.
You can speak rapido. It's just that your brain has to be there as well, and sometimes it isn't. That's just the way it is.
Also,
all right.
I've got vacation brain right now.
Yeah, you do. Well, you got girlfriend brain too. So
I am going to see my girlfriend.
Well, that's my point.
Vacation brain is kicked in.
I knew you before the girlfriend. You're a different fella. You just are. Okay, so final thing, and then we're going to take a break.
I would hope so.
I want to talk about the Edmonton Oilers. Everybody's saying, well, the roster's set. No, there's just no damn chance in the world the roster is set. That's most of the roster is set. I can agree with that. But no, come on, man. The three goalies we know, I think there's a little bit of indecision in terms of the back of the defense because they're going to want to have three lefties and three righties and a seventh defenseman, and they're going to worry about waivers, and that might mean a lot of things. And up front, I wrote about it today, talking about the third line and the checking line and the shutdown line and the wingers that Jason Dickinson may require. And if he gets the wingers that he wants, then I think Ike Howard makes the team. But I don't know that he's going to get Nugent Hopkins and Kasperi Kapanen. And when I say wants, I mean needs. So there's a lot up in the air about it. So I'm going to ask you, I'm going to name you, then I'm going to ask you your opinion. I'll start with you, Declan. Does Ike Howard make the team?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, my days. Josh almost gave me a heart attack there. Hilarious bit, by the way. That's why he's the best. Yes. This is Declan, and his answer is yes.
Okay, so he makes the team. All right. What about you, Josh?
No, I'm going to stick with Declan's original take before he backed off. Was no. I don't think he's going to make it. I think he's going to be too small. I don't think he's going to be committed enough to defense. And even if he is, I think he'll be a liability, and Babcock won't want that.
Well, I think if Babcock sees like 3 bad plays in preseason, I don't think he makes the team. And I like. Babcock didn't come here to develop Ike Howard. He came here to win a Stanley Cup. People have to remember that. And then there are all kinds of other issues. Like Matthias Janmark, he didn't look good at all last year, but he did have, surgery, and he may come back and be bona fide. What does that do to Matthew Joseph? There's a lot of questions here. I would encourage you to keep an open mind about training camp. I know it's shorter. There's a new coach. He doesn't know the past. All he knows is what's in front of him, and they have a tendency to make decisions. And once they make a decision on you, it sticks. That's what we're dealing with here. Old-timey coach, like think Craig McTavish, and how many first-round picks didn't make it with MacT, and how many guys who were drafted like 120th overall who did. It's Fernando Pisani versus Yanni Rita. It's Sean Horkoff versus Mike Comrie. We have to be mindful of what the Oilers have done over the summer. And one of the things they've done is hired an old-timey coach who's not familiar with Ike Howard at all. Not trying to create a controversy. I think he should make the club. I'm not sure that he will. Okay, very, very busy show. On the way, rumors. At 1 o'clock today, Kevin McCurdy. We're going to talk to Kevin about roster spots and who might and might not make it. 1:40 today, it's Declanations going through what?
We are going to be doing Declan CAA today, the segment I really get up for around this time of year and more so into the fall. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take the favorite teams of some of the people here at Sports 1440, Notre Dame for you, Lowetide, Michigan for Josh, Oregon for myself, Bama for Connor, and Florida State for Brandon. And I'm going to be doing a record breakdown or a record prediction of those
Beautiful.
teams.
Remember, it's Joe Montana's Notre Dame. Just so everybody knows what we're talking about. Little lore going on with Notre Dame. Maybe they've lost it a little bit since Lou 150 years ago. Lou died, right?
Wow. He must have, right? Or did he? That's a good question. Let's look it up.
The sensitivity of this program is always front and center.
Wow. Really recently.
Mr. Holtz died.
Yeah, really recently in March.
Yeah. You sort of remember those things and then they go away, but I was pretty sure. Lou Holtz was one of the most interesting quotes in football for his entire football life. He said the most unusual things and meant all of them. And I don't know whether you should be afraid or happy, but he did. Okay. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube. Brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick.
Tap into the fun of Play Alberta's most popular casino games. From the fast-paced spins of Cash Eruption to the retro thrills of Sevens Wild, online excitement is always at your fingertips. Spin through your choice of popular...
His 18th. Swinging a high drive, dead away center. Back he goes, and that one is gone. Willier with another multi-home run game. Blast off time for him, 19. Don't look now, but a lot of guys are starting to drop. His 18. That is hammered right field. Nico. Home run for Horner. It's 5-1. That is hammered right field. Nico. Ball loves a one-jump ball. They're on their feet. Feel like this place will explode on the next bucket. Oh, Gabby!
A little two-player action leading to a nice look for Gabby Williams.
Ball loves a one-jump ball. They're on their feet. Feel like this place will explode.
Monitoring and safety attendants across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Krueger for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Cantork has always been a forward-thinking company, but now that we've turned 25, I can't help but take a minute to take a look back. Thank you to everyone that's been with us along the way.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. Does anybody know the name of the punk band that Billy Idol was the frontman for during the punk era?
My dad's going to beat my ass for not knowing. But
Generation X. There you go. I love The Clash. I like Generation X.
What's your favorite Clash song, real quick?
Well, it's probably London Calling, but I love Jimmy Jazz. I love Clampdown, Guns of Brixton, a lot of stuff from Sandinista I love. It's very musical. I like a lot of The Clash. White Riot I like.
I'm going with Rock the Casbah.
A very good song.
But special shout out to Rudy Can't Fail.
Rudy Can't Fail's a great song. Yeah. No, they're very talented. They were
and Charlie Don't Serve.
And I love the Jam. Although the Jam wasn't really, they were the opposite of, they were mods. The British, man. They don't have good food, but they got a lot of time and their music is fantastic. Okay. It is time for Rumors, brought to you by Hire Good. We solve real problems for businesses while creating real impact. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. Go to hiregood.ca. Hire Good. Stable jobs create stable lives. I really like the sound of Hire Good. Good company. They advertise with us, so they're a really good company. Okay, PTOs are the subject matter today. And I'm going to quote from the Hockey Writers, Vivek K., who has an Article 5 PTO candidates the Oilers should consider. And Vladimir Tarasenko, I don't think he's going to go on a PTO. He'll probably get signed to $3.5 million or something like that. Evander Kane, I think Kane probably would be a PTO at this point. I don't think he would come to the Oilers. Michael Bunting is an interesting name. Sort of a depth player, but he can play a little bit of offense. Patrick Laine, I don't think there's a chance he would come here. And Eli Tolvanen, which is the last name listed by Vivek, but I think would be a very good one. Eli Tolvanen, he's small. They have a lot of small players. We don't know for sure that Aikawa is going to make the team, but we know Matt Savoy will. So there's interesting names there. I'm wondering, like I said, I don't think Tarasenko is going to, Logan Stanley's going to get a contract eventually. These goaltenders will get, some kind of a deal. There will be some PTOs, but I think Tolvanen is the most likely guy to go on a PTO, and the Oilers might have interest. I don't know that they do, but that will be the next thing that comes. And we talked at the top of the show about, guaranteed, roles on the team. This guy's got it, 23-man roster. We can name it now. I just do not believe a word of that. I don't think the Oilers are set in stone as you think, simply because there's a new coach coming in and he doesn't know the loyalty to these players. And I know Stan Bowman wants Ike Howard on the roster, but if Mike Babcock goes and says, listen, he's just not ready, chances are Howard ends up in Bakersfield. I think you can count on Anderson, Jari, and Levi to be the goaltenders. That's 3. I think you can count on Ekholm, Bouchard, Wallman, Connor Murphy, Ryan Shea, Ty Emberson. That's 6. And probably Shakira Makamadulan. But Spencer Stastny and Alec Regula are in the mix. And if it comes down to it and one of those guys wins the job, like Regula, who's right-handed, and they are unicorns, if Regula comes in here and plays really well, he may force the issue. And the Oilers might have to carry 8 defensemen, or they might have to trade a guy like Makamadulan. You're going to go, they just got him. Doesn't matter. He is absolutely not going. Left side of the defense for the Oilers is Ekholm, Wallman, Ryan Shea, all veterans. And you can say, well, Makamadulan can play right side. Does Mike Babcock want him to play right side? We don't know that. There's a lot we don't know. So there's enough that we don't know that I think we have 6 sure things on defense, 3 sure things in net. And since there's going to be 23 men on the roster, we think that means 14 forwards. Of those, got to be 5 centers, except the Oilers only have 3. They've got Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Jason Dickinson. Josh Szymanski, are we sure? Nuge, I don't know if he's going to play center. Now, the wingers are pretty set, I think. It's Hyman, Savoy, Podkolzin, Nuge, Kapanen, Frederick, Matthew Joseph, Colton Dock. That excludes Ike Howard, and it excludes Matthias Janmark. So when we talk about, oh, yeah, that's already known, the roster's already known, I'm going to push back on that all day. There could be trades, there could be PTOs, there could be signings, and then there could be injuries. I would bet you, what's a dozen beer go for now?
Depends on the brand, but probably around like $33.
Okay, I bet you a 2-4 of your favorite beer.
Okay.
The Oilers make a move in preseason, probably for a right-handed center.
Probably for a right-handed center. Like if you were saying for like a forward or something, if it was a little more specific and not just a move, I'd probably be more willing to take the bet, because obviously I'm going to owe you a 2-4 after that, because I agree.
Well, what are we at the New Jersey Hair Splitting Association? We're just making a small bet. 2-4 a beer is what, $60?
Yeah. Small bet to you, maybe, Mr. The Athletic cashes my checks.
Listen, all I'm saying is that I don't like to bet. I really don't, because if I won, I wouldn't want to take the money from you, and if I lost, I wouldn't want to pay you.
Good news, we're not trading money. We're trading beer.
Yeah,
but also I drink Old Milwaukee, and a 2-4 of that is I don't know, like $42 or something like that. So
I can always tell. Well, I'm not going to say it. That's not fair.
Is that when you're cutting corners?
No, my kids. I was just going to say my kids, because whenever beer is in the fridge that's theirs, I always know where we are, financially, right?
Hey, that's fair.
Yeah, and I always scoff one when I'm barbecuing. So
yeah, I mean, how many of your beers did they steal when they were younger?
Oh my God, it was endless. So
you can scarf a beer.
And the Crown Royal losses in my house over the years have been just exorbitant. All right. So, yeah, I think that's a fair thing to talk about. And I, like, my suspicion is that Spencer Stastny gets traded and Maka Medulin makes the team, and they try to clear Regula through waivers. But if Regula plays well, right now, even if you're at your desk, if you're driving, keep your eyes open. But let's say you're at a desk working and you're doing something very important. Just put it down, put the pencil down, put the full scap away. And we just want to think about what I'm about to say. Talk about ego, eh? Imagine the roster as you see it. Right now, you see the roster and look, there's no way Janmark's going to make the team. He was horrible, but he had surgery and he might be healthy. And here's the kicker. Mike Babcock doesn't have your eyes and your memory and your knowledge of this roster. All Mike Babcock has is all the learned information in his brain and all the belief system that he has in his brain. That's it. That's all he has. And we don't know what he's going to think about Ike Howard or Nuge at center. Or, we might see opening night Nuge, McDavid, Hyman, the top line we haven't seen in a while. That might be what happens. And it could be Draisaitl, McDavid, and Hyman. Then what are you going to do? So we have to wait and see. When we say anything at this time of year, like it's an automatic guarantee, we open ourselves up for questioning, tomfoolery, and befuddlement. We don't know what we don't know. And especially with Mike Babcock. We just, what did Mike Babcock do coaching an NHL team last year? Oh, wait a minute. He didn't do that. So it is going to be unusual. Now, I don't think it's going to be unusual like it was with Pat Quinn. That was a real trip. You guys don't remember that, do you?
No.
It was 2010. So you'd be what, 5?
6. Good try.
Wow.
Really close.
God, I am so old.
Declan was either, like 17 or not born yet. You know what I mean?
You guys must look at me and think, if we cut him in half, how many rings would there be?
No.
I think about that like once a day.
Yeah.
Why do you think about cutting people in half once a day?
Oh man, with a manual saw too. I'm not even gassing up the chainsaw.
Wow.
Yeah.
Skill saw might be more painful now that we think about it.
Bandsaw.
I'm now thinking about how I don't think you and I sound alike, but how people think we sound alike. And to Greater Man Jay's text a few minutes ago, it's like, it must just be like, you think you're listening to Gollum or whatever, talking like just Andy Serkis talking to himself in The Lord of the Rings, like the super gravelly. No, Smeagol loved it.
If you guys would, one of you just adopt an accent, we'd be fine.
Well, the one thing that also like would be frustrating for people is like, why is that one guy talking so much? You know what I mean? Instead of like it being like a 33 thing, they're like, why is this one guy talking 66% of the time?
Well, it is what it is, right? But back to the Oilers, which is the subject at hand. I just encourage you not to pre-decide what Mike Babcock's going to do, because we don't know. And the sense I always get is like the feeling I have is it'll be more like Craig McTavish, where Babcock's going to be out after practice one day and he's going to be trying to teach Matthew Savoy how to win faceoffs, because he's going to want to have a right-handed guy on that line, whatever line it is, who can take faceoffs, and that's one more way he can get an edge. Mac T did that all the time. I think Mac T was a great coach. I just believe that. But part of it was he constantly thought about his roster and how he could make it better. And I know in my heart he always wanted to turn everybody into a Craig McTavish third line brilliant center, but that's not such a bad thing on this team. That would be okay with me. The Pat Quinn thing was I honestly think he confused some players for other players. And his opening night lines, it had Ethan Moreau and Sam Gagner on the fourth line, I believe. And he had, I think, Ryan Stone with Horkoff and Hemsky. It was wild in the streets. Babcock isn't going to do that. Babcock, will absolutely know intuitively why, people mesh with McDavid, and he's going to want to have, those guys comfortable with each other. But by the same token, we don't know how the lines are going to work. And we should be mindful of that when we talk about this guy being a lock and that guy not being a lock. Connor, may I ask you a couple of questions?
Yeah, sure. What's up?
Where did you go?
I was learning how to cut audio with Brandon.
Oh, I see. And how did that go?
Went well.
Yeah. What part of radio do you love most so far?
I honestly just learning everything is the best way I can describe.
Right.
It's all new experiences for me, so I just kind of enjoyed learning everything.
How smart are you, Connor? Like, do you know 3 languages?
No, I barely know one.
Okay. And if I gave you an English test, a science test, and a computers for dummies test, would you pass all 3?
Probably not.
Oh, I find that encouraging. Who's the smartest person in this room?
I can't give you a good answer.
You've been listening to Josh, haven't you?
I would never do that.
Politically correct over there. All right. That was a good answer, by the way. All right. Well, welcome back, and I'm glad you're learning other things. All right. Straight ahead, we have Kevin McCurdy at 1:00. Declan secretly just wants time to pass because he wants to talk about NCAA football.
Not even a secret. I'll say that openly.
He wishes I would stop talking and pretend it was 1:40 right now. But we're going to make him wait until 1:40. I will come out on time so he has enough time to impart his wisdom about the NCAA. But on the way, we're going to talk about what you want to talk about via the text line, and we'll do a little bit about the Elks because I think that is something that everybody wants to talk about, especially the attendance we saw on the weekend. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick.
If Fusion promo marketing can make it, Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z, promomarketing.ca.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
They're going all out to earn your business at Wolf GMC Buick. Right now, they're seriously overstocked on over 400 pieces of inventory on clearance and ready to move. See for yourself. Click on the clearance tab at wolfgmcbuick.com. And it gets even better. Employee pricing continues with huge cash discounts, 0% purchase financing, and low lease rates on select vehicles. Once again, see their website for details and stop in today. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Mr. Rooter cries like a little tiny baby child.
Hey, Mr. Rooter, you've got a package from Mrs. Rooter.
Aw, the card says, "Thank you for our unbreakable bond. You're the pro press fitting to my copper pipe."
Ooh, what's in the package, Mr. Rooter?
Let's see. It's a Plumbus 2000 spud wrench. She knew I'd never buy one for myself.
Just like tears. It's flowing or it's free with Mr. Rooter.
I love that woman.
Yeah, it's me again. And if you're sidelined with a sports injury, you already know nothing's more frustrating than being told to just rest. At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we get athletes moving sooner with our zero gravity treadmills. You can run, train, and rebuild strength with up to 80% less body weight, so your injury heals while your confidence comes roaring back. When your sports injury's yelling, whisper back, leadingedgephysio.com, because life shouldn't hurt.
I missed one payment, then another. Now I feel behind on everything. I can't keep up.
Falling behind happens to more people than you think, but there is a solution. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. Together, we can create a plan that fits your situation and helps you get caught up and back in control. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book your free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
Recently, our company softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Well, Dale and I are very different. I get early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Thanks, Bet365.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus all. T's and C's apply.
Breaking down the fine art of sports, one rep at a time. The Lowdown with Lowetide. Thanks for checking out Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. wolfgmcbuick.com.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Family owned, community driven. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. See the Hlinka Gretzky on in our city. I remember when Broberg was here, and people were very excited about Broberg. I had a really good Hlinka Gretzky years ago. And if you're going to those games where scouts are going to be, they all like kind of wear black, and they're all in one area. And there's coffee cups everywhere. And some NHL teams, I don't know if they still do it, but I was told in the past that scouts, some scouts from some teams don't talk to other scouts. They're not supposed to. Don't sit by them, don't acknowledge them. I think the Washington Capitals under McPhee were like that, I believe. And I guess I understand that, but I think that if you're going through life, being social is part of the appeal, and not like you're going to say, hey, this guy looks good. mean, if you see Bobby Orr on the ice, you can probably talk about him because everybody knows. I can't imagine two scouts sitting in a hockey rink watching Cale Makar. We're thinking, God, I better not tell the guy how good he is, because I'm assuming all the scouts knew how good he was, at the time. You guys need a segment, Lowetide versus AI. How would that work?
We would give you, you know what we would do?
We would
give you and AI an argumentative prompt, and you would both have to formulate your argument, and then we would decide who had the better take.
Okay, give me an example.
What do you think?
Who's more deserving to be in the Hall of Fame, Barry Bonds or Pete Rose?
Oh, okay. Well, you would just be choosing AI to be an ass because I would have the better one.
That's argument. Why we need the segment.
But obviously, I personally think that Bonds has a better case.
Yeah, I do too.
But
Pete Rose lied and then lied about lying. Liarson is what he did. Barry Bonds did something that the Major League Baseball owners profited from and then decided he was a bad man.
Correct.
So I think AI got squashed.
Yeah, except AI gets to form its own argument.
Screw AI.
AI is dangerously wrong with information a lot of the time.
Also, I would always pick Lowetide because respectfully, expletive AI.
I
I
can't use M dashes in my articles anymore because of them.
You can't what in your articles?
Apparently, the word is that anything that use articles that use whatever resources online, they tend to chew out a lot of M dashes in their articles, which I like using. I like using commas, colons, semicolons, apostrophes. I'll use the little, the fleur de lis. I'll use the little thing that the Finnish people put over top of the A.
Sure.
Man, back when we still did Hi, My Name Is, and I didn't want to come up with the names anymore.
So grumpy back then.
People text in and be like, get, AI to generate it. And I'm like, well, I hate that idea because I want it to be, personal, but let me try it. And it was I did it 4 or 5 times. It was wrong every time. I had to go back and be like, no, that's actually not true. This stat you gave about this player is incorrect every single time. Now, I don't know how ChatGPT's developed since then, but it was it was shocking how wrong it was.
They want a live YouTube stream of Lowetide.
Barbecue and sucking down one of your kids' beers.
Beating a computer with an empty Crown bottle.
Yeah, I paid money to see that.
I don't get angry that often. I have in my life been angry. I chopped down a tree once, and I yelled at my radio engineer, Bruce Bedford, so bad that I thought I was going to have a heart attack. And it was my fault. My friend Maggie Anderson made me mad once because I had made a massive mistake and she knew it, and she just was so calm and she waited for me to figure it out. And then I had to go apologize to her. It was awful, but I did apologize. So I really don't, I can't remember the last time I lost my temper. It's been a long time. I'm old too, right? You get all of these guys, they got anger and rage in them. I'm not saying they go to the bar Friday night looking for a fight, but when you're young, you've got a lot of, that you got to get out of your system. Boss tells you what to do during the week. Kind of angries up the blood. Got to get that out of your system. That's why these young people go golfing.
I get to go golfing on Saturday. I'm very excited.
Where are you golfing?
I have no idea.
Okay, good. LT, you said Friday on the Krueger show that 97 and 29 will be on the same line. So who would be the second line center? Or who are they trading for from Braden? Actually, what I said was what Mike Babcock has said, what Stan Bowman has said, and what the players themselves have said. Sometimes at 5-on-5, especially at home, those two will be on the same line. I wasn't breaking news on Krueger's show. I was just talking about the reality that is before us. And the answer is, I don't know. I think it must be Nuge. You can't put Dickinson on the third line. I think it would be Nuge, but I don't know. And I have been writing this summer at The Athletic about different ideas that I have for who could be the second line center. But I think it should be Leon Draisaitl. And I believe that Mike Babcock, as time goes on, will also agree with that. However, Mike Babcock is talking in terms of, 10,000 foot, view. He's going, well, sure, play these guys together. I talked to them. They're good guys. Now he's going to get to the roster and he's going to say, well, Nuge maybe isn't 27 anymore. And, I like this Colton Dock guy, but he's not a center. And Dickinson's great, but I want him to be the shutdown penalty kill guy. Offense is not his jam. So what do? You either make a trade or you play McDavid on line 1 and Draisaitl on line 2. That's my point. Like I'm not decreeing that McDavid and Draisaitl have to be on the same line because I said so. I'm riffing off what the organization has put out there, and maybe they do it just to feed the conversation over the summertime. I don't know why the Oilers would need to do that. Is there another city in North America, we'll say, that is obsessed with one team the way Edmonton is with the Oilers?
Green Bay with the Packers.
Yeah.
But is that a big market like Edmonton? Edmonton's 1 million people.
Yeah, no, not the same size, much smaller. I think you could make, listen, I'm not here to question Oilers fans' passion. I do think there are a few other cities you could say
Yankees
the same
fans,
for, though.
But they have more than one team.
It's true, but I think everyone seems obsessed with the Yankees.
So you're talking a city with just one team?
Well, I mean, the Elks are an Edmonton team, but there was a time when
of
they
like
were
NHL, ML,
right. The top.
We're talking about the big four,
right?
I would say maybe San Antonio with the Spurs.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, and I guess Calgary with the Stampeders. They don't have any other team.
Good one, Lowetide. That's true.
You mean
that's true, Lowetide.
Don't diss the Calgary Hitmen like that.
Calgary jokes are the easiest thing in the world to do. In
Mm-hmm.
Edmonton, they just it's like yeah, piss pump, like that. It's good. Saskatchewan Roughriders fans, absolutely.
Wait, Vancouver.
No, but they're not upset.
They don't even care.
They actually dislike. They actively dislike themselves and their team.
They're all trying to get into acting and modeling. The Canucks are kind of secondary for them. They don't know.
That's a great point, Declan.
Jeez, that's funny. Oh my God, it is beautiful in Vancouver. There are a lot of things to do. Stanley Park is a day. Stanley Park is a day. You know that Stanley Park, one of my favorite things to do on holidays is to go to Stanley Park and you can walk like this way and that way and all down the way. And there are areas where dogs can just dig into the sand and they do it all and they get exhausted and they're so happy, man. And you can canoe. It's really good. I have to say, I love Vancouver as a city. I know that we diss Vancouver a lot because of the fans, but it's a lovely city. And so is Calgary. Montreal has a rabid fan base. That is fair. I would say Montreal with the Canadians because it's French and English. And we only get the English part, and it's a lot. But the French are just beyond that. I would say that is a really good comparable and maybe even supersedes, maybe even is larger.
I would say that supersedes.
I do think Green Bay, even though the population isn't there with the Packers.
And it's unfair to say the population of any NFL fan base isn't high because
particularly the one that's owned by the fans.
Right. Do you have a share? I know people who do have share of Green Bay Packers.
I do not have a share. I imagine it's too expensive for me. However, if the Pirates go up for sale, I might buy a share or two. Thank goodness for the text line. I wasn't even thinking about Montreal. I was
the text line. They're good. They're bright people. They should be working, but they're very smart people.
We're happy.
Said they're listening to us. Thanks, guys.
How much time do you think we help them waste during the day?
Ooh,
2 hours.
Many.
No, but I mean like 2 hours times how many people?
I would say like 85% of the listener base. Maybe that's high. Maybe 70% of the listener base.
Okay, and so that's like companies could sue us for wasting their employees' time. It's a stretch.
I don't know. That's a little bit like, suing McDonald's because you got fat. Like, is it really McDonald's fault? You were the one eating all those burgers.
Well, they should just make it healthier then.
Actually, McDonald's are, relatively speaking, very healthy.
I do believe you.
So,
just don't eat it for
Well, I
breakfast,
mean,
lunch,
I
and
think
dinner.
that people have to, take their own, lives.
You got to
into
take your own
account.
health
Yeah.
seriously. Don't eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
No, just
It's a
say this.
treat.
One thing I will tell you that just as an aside, nobody owes me this. I'm just saying, when my children were little, both allergic to nuts, peanuts, and the one restaurant I could go to and say, if I walked up and I said, "Hey, my children want this. Is there nuts in it?" They actually would pull out a book and tell you exactly what was in it. Like there are no misunderstandings when it comes to McDonald's. They're brilliant that way. That's important. It's when you have children,
hey, very important. I
it's-
will say though, most restaurants do have that. They just don't pull it out in front of you. Like the Brew House, they have their own little like guideline sheet in the back of if you say, "Oh, does this have gluten in it?" Obviously, you should know if something has gluten in it or not. But if you're never asked that question before, you can go, "Well, let me go check." And in the back, it says like, "Oh, are you able to eat this? Does it have gluten? Check mark or X and whatever." So, and then
and
at the
it's
end,
important, right? Because people can't,
yeah. And so at the end, it says, "Well, you can eat this if you have X, Y, or Z."
Yeah.
Like if you have a gluten intolerance or anything like that. So most places do have it.
One thing I don't like is when you order decaf and they just pour you a cup. And that does happen. Not in a specific restaurant, just sometimes that happens.
Here's the other secret.
Okay. Are you
It's
going
all
to get
decaf.
anybody in trouble when you
No,
tell this?
it's always decaf.
What?
It's always decaf.
I'm coming over there.
It's always decaf.
I
man.
sometimes go to a restaurant to get my coffee and get a little bit of oomph in the middle of the day. Are you telling me that it's all decaf?
It's always decaf, brother.
Well,
Hate
this
to-
is like,
hate to
is
go and
there
tell
a
everybody
Santa
the truth.
Claus? Well, now I'm upset.
Yeah, sorry to do that to you.
I'm not talking to you anymore about life.
All right. I'm doing my best over here.
You're doing great. All right. Kevin McCurdy on the way at 1. We're talking NCAA with Declan at 1:40. So we got to get everything out of the way before 1:40 because there's a lot. It's going to be like a fire hose of football with Declan at 1:40. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube. It's time for an update with Declan.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by elksnation.ca for the best green and gold coverage online with articles, podcasts, and more. Visit elksnation.ca. Scores from around the majors. Blue Jays and Astros currently tied 0-0 in the bottom of the third. Dodgers and Cubs tied 1-1 in the bottom of the second. And the Giants and Rangers in the bottom of the first also see a 0-0 game. In about 15 minutes, we'll see the Rays and Rockies, Angels and Orioles at 4:35 in the late game tonight in the MLB. We'll see the Padres and Diamondbacks as well as the Tigers and Mariners at 7:40. Scores from the Hlinka Gretzky right now 0-0 between Switzerland and Slovakia. Coming up at 3, we'll see Czechia and Finland at 5, Sweden and Canada, and at 7, the U.S. and Germany. Some news from around the sporting world is Steph Diggs expected to sign a 1-year deal with the Washington Commanders. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Struggling to find skilled workers? What if you could fill your talent pipeline with motivated, pre-vetted youth and receive funding to support your efforts? At Careers the Next Generation, we connect Alberta employers with interns in skilled trades, IT, agriculture, forestry, and more. All WCB covered, high school accredited, safety trained, and ready to contribute from day one. With 83% of RAP students continuing their apprenticeships after high school, investing in youth today means securing your workforce for tomorrow. Don't wait. Visit careersnextgen.ca to get started.
Guys, there never seems to be enough time in the day, but you need to make time for this. Ken Franchek here. If you're 40 or over, a quick PSA blood test is crucial for early prostate cancer detection. The Prostate Cancer Center's Man Van is a mobile health clinic driving change for men's health. A few minutes could save your life. To get the Man Van out to your business or event, book today at getcheck.ca.
Did you know the Brick is proudly Canadian owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you.
You want it? We got it. At Harley Davidson of Edmonton, we have a huge bike inventory just waiting for you to ride. We're not a car dealer. We're your local family bike shop. We are riders supporting riders. Come find your dream bike here at Harley Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated since 1980. Find us at hdedmonton.com.
It's dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Looking for premium casino entertainment? Betway Casino brings you live casino tables, fast payouts, and the top game providers all in one place. If you're looking to play the Edmonton way, you're in the right place. So when you're ready for that premium casino feel at your fingertips, play the Edmonton way with Betway. Play responsibly. Alberta only, 18 plus.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply.
It's finally time to escape your four walls and see where your four wheels can take you. Sherwood Honda helps you head out on the road the way you want to, with the right vehicle, including freedom-seeking SUVs that give you the versatility to drive where, when, and how you want to. It sure would do some good to get out and stretch your horizons, and sure would be easier with Sherwood Honda.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. He shut that down.
He knows all about the Expos and Oilers. It's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Edmonton's Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 at 1 o'clock. We're brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Family owned, community driven. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. Houston up 1 Cobb on the Toronto Blue Jays. It's going to be a really good ball game. Brown is up against. Who's pitching for the Jays? Oh, Tyon, the Chicago Cubs.
Correct. Jameson Tyon. I just didn't know how to say his name.
Right.
I was about to say like Jameson Talion or.
Well, Talon would be fine. I mean, if he needs it pronounced Tyon, then, or, spell it phonetically for the folks in the cheap seats.
I have great news. Kevin's here.
Okay. All right. We weren't sure. Kevin's a busy man, but he is here now. And he is our headliner of the day. Brought to you by Faber. Cash Flow Crunch got your business on the sidelines. Schedule your free consultation with Faber's licensed insolvency trustees and get back in the game. Visit Faber, FABER.ca. Hello, Kevin. How are you, sir?
Doing well on you doing this week.
Are you enjoying it seems to me like the weather is a little more calm in terms of storms in the last 48 hours.
Are you telling me that we're finally out of monsoon season for at least 5 minutes?
I hope so, man. I just feel like my house is ready to float away,
Yeah. Dad would have been really devastated about the flooding at the Science Center in particular.
Oh, yeah.
Just the situation there. They've now had 2 floods, and shameless plug, but when they're back online, if people could go visit, that's an establishment that's worth the trip, both for the outdoor observatory and the indoor exhibits. So
And we have to keep that together because it's it's brilliant and it's part of our city and it has been for a long time. So people are talking PTOs and I get it, I understand it, but I'm having a hard time coming to grips with the players are going to be waiving or trading or sending out now. I don't know if you've seen the PTO list. Tolvanen is on it, others, and obviously they could sign a contract tomorrow. But anybody catch your eye among the free agents that are currently available, either as a contract or maybe as a PTO?
honestly, no. There's only 4 preseason games, and the vets have to play 2 of them, is my understanding. And frankly, where this team is at roster construction wise, just run Howard. It's going to cost you nothing above what you're already spending. I don't see why we would need to entertain them. And I don't and they say that, with the qualifier that there's not really anybody on that list that's 3 alarm fire, we need to sign this guy.
Yeah.
And I recognize we're in the, why is the sky blue philosophy phase of the summer as far as news goes, but we're getting pretty thin on things to talk about these days, my friend.
Well, I also think that there could be things that we don't know about the organization does. They may be aware of injuries or surgery recovery that didn't work out. They may feel like, they signed Joseph because Janmark wasn't going to be ready, and early reports on Janmark are very strong. So they'll have a better idea about their roster than we do. And I agree with you. Everybody kind of has the 7 defensemen, set in stone, and I get that. But, Regula is a guy who's waiver eligible too. I think Spencer Stastny, we mostly agree, is going to be, dealt or waived, one of the two. But there's enough, I think, question there to maybe allow us to at least a brief thought about giving all of those guys time to show themselves to Mike Babcock before they make a move.
100%, but that's what the preseason is for. And with the limited number of games this year, they don't really have room to be shuffling PTOs into the mix, right? I guess you could make a case for maybe one of them, but I don't know. I don't that kind of depth, the kind of depth that you acquire via PTO just doesn't feel like something that the Oilers are lacking at the moment. And especially with, guys like Patty Kane off the list, right? I just don't see the need for that middle 6, bottom 6. That area of the team is already plugged up pretty good. And, granted, if you want to make some changes there, then you need to make a move. But I would think that showing what we already got to Babcock and his crew is worth more than PTOs at this point.
Well, and also you've got, you're committed to Frederick. You've signed Colt, Doc. You have that area covered. If there's injury, you probably want to, cover for it. But I mean, I honestly don't know, based on, rumors and innuendo that we heard, I honestly don't know whether the Oilers would be a team that would reach out to Evander Kane. It seems like the exit was not, as smooth as you'd want.
The exit from every team he's ever been on is not as smooth as he wanted. He got his 1,000 games in Vancouver, and outwardly it appeared that the team rather unceremoniously slammed the door on him on the last couple of games of the season. So I don't know. I think I get that there's Evander Kane has a massive fan club, but I also I'm cognizant of the fact that I watched this man play for 4 seasons, and his decreasing ability to make a basic pass and break out of his own zone caused them major gas in the playoffs, right? They could not get out of their own zone with him on the ice at times, and that's really a problem. And this is a team that relies on moving the puck quickly and accurately and making those quick transitions, and it's built around that. And I don't know how he fits into that mold now.
Yeah, and when he came here, it was a first shot scorer. The Maroon injury, the Patrick Maroon skating over his wrist really just did impact him in a big way. But he also was a power forward who turned 30, and we know the result there. Dovetailing off of that part of the conversation to Trent Frederick, I'm a full blown fan. I'm also fully aware that he has not performed at a level that would be commensurate with his salary, with his no movement, and with his long term contract. And fans are all over him. But I think at some level, this year would be the year where he. I'm not saying it's last chance Texaco, but if he's going to recover with this organization, I mean, Stan Bowman went away on a limb to get him. Then he has to perform at a level where you'd appreciate him on the third line as opposed to a part-time fourth liner. Is that fair?
Yeah, I do think that him and Babcock might actually be an okay combination. Like, I Babcock is good at extracting value from guys that are lower down on the roster. And yes, I know that there are a ton of rumors about how he treats the people that aren't the stars, but let's just go on the basis of evidence rather than on the basis of speculation in this case. There's enough speculation flying around the Twitter world these days. Let's see how Trent Frederick performs with the new coaching staff that probably will be able to utilize his sort of quasi-power forward leanings a little bit more than maybe Chris Knobloch was inclined to.
Yeah, that's fair. I was looking at Jason Dickinson's line mates in Chicago when he was playing well, and there were Mikheyev and Donato, and they weren't at that time when the puck was going in the net a lot for him, playing necessarily against tough minutes, opposition. I think that will be his role as much as possible, along with defensive zone starts and penalty killing in Edmonton. If you were in a room and all of the wingers were available for each of the centers, which two would you cherry pick for Dickinson on a tough minutes shutdown line?
Oh, that's a tough question. Honestly, I hate to speculate here because I think that's going to be Babcock figuring out what he's got in front of him more than anything else. Like, Babcock has a history of sort of doing unique things, and I'm not actually sure. The other thing that people often forget, and this is sort of a side tangent to your question, so I apologize for that, but by acquiring Dickinson and Murphy, we actually acquired two out of the three assistant captains on the Chicago Blackhawks. So from a leadership point of view, those guys are going to be, I think, really valuable to this team, which leads me to a counter question for you, which I kind of have been pondering, which is, now that Darnell Nurse is gone, who do you give that assistant captaincy to?
Oh, boy. I think it wouldn't happen right away. That's my feeling anyway. I think Connor Murphy might be a candidate. Dickinson.
Is that home?
Pardon me? Yeah, Ekholm for sure. I mean, that's an established guy, and clearly he's a part of the core group. I actually, now that I think of it, I think Ekholm might be like at the top.
I was thinking about it, and you could give it to a forward, you could give it to a Zach Hyman, for example. But if you lose a defenseman, it seems only fair to leave that letter in the defensive core, right? So,
right.
To me, the obvious, it's no shame against Bouchard or Murphy or whatever, but Ekholm has truly elevated that core over the past several seasons, and he's put in the work even whether he was wearing a letter or not. So to me, that's kind of the obvious choice, but I was curious as to what your take on.
Well, what I like about Ekholm is that I mean, injuries are a thing as players age, but honestly, Kevin, he is aged like fine wine when he's healthy and on the ice. His numbers are pristine.
Yeah, he is one of the most underrated defensemen in the league. He's one of my favorite players in the league. He just does everything well. And then again, to your point, granted, there's an injury history there that's not perfect, but it's hard to argue with the results, man, both visually and statistically.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. As far as what you're expecting from training camp, we have a new coach in Mike Babcock. He's going to, I think, stress, things like Godot on my blog was talking about, sticks against the wall, which means 3 right-handed defensemen on the right side, 3 left-handed defensemen on the left side, even though Shakir Makabadulan has been, mentioned as a guy who can play both left and right defense. Do you think those kinds of things will be a factor, or we'll have to wait and see? Or are you ready for a Craig McTavish type coach, or do you think that he's not quite that much of a throwback?
I'm not sure he's that much of a throwback, but he has his own unique perspective on hockey. With regards to the sticks to the wall thing, I am a firm believer in that. I play enough, crap tier hockey to recognize the value in having your stick where it's supposed to be, rather than having to reach across for a keep or to work in the corners and be, facing the wrong direction or what have you, right? Like, there's just real world advantage to having the curve of your stick going the right direction. Again, granted, it's beer league hockey. It's not the same thing, even remotely. And I probably will get ridiculed for that comment, but this is the reality of what I've experienced. It's also the reality of what I've seen watching the professional sport over the past, 25 years. It's just, the reality is that it's basic biomechanics, and there are very few guys that are very good at doing it on their offhand, simply because they have to move the puck so much more, or have to alternate directions so much more in order to do the same things that can be accomplished just by being right-handed on the right side, for example.
Just so you know, there's 16 beer league toughs on our text line wanting to challenge you at the bicycle racks at 3:00 today. So
seems legit. I'll be there. I'll bring the beer.
Right. If you're a little late, just stay. You'll show up at some point in time.
Yeah.
So how's your summer going? Aside from the rain and all of that, how's your summer going?
It's been pretty uneventful. I haven't floated away yet, so there's that going at least. Been playing a crap load of hockey and working on a reno in my house. Nothing too strenuous, I guess. But how about yours?
Oh, good. I've had a really nice summer. It's been I've been lazy, but that's okay. I've been doing all the chores I had to do and sloughing off on a little bit, but I'll get back at it after when September comes. How's your mom?
She's doing well, actually. We had a family dinner with Dad's side of the family actually a couple of days ago, and it was really nice to see everybody. And those events are hard, for obvious reasons, because a bunch of them are spitting images of him, whether it's physically or mentally.
I saw that at the Space Science Center. I saw that they all seem to have come from the same family.
Yeah, no, they definitely share common roots. Back to the hockey thing for a second. The one thing that finally gave me some spice today was seeing Connor McDavid back on the ice doing professional skills training, and that's it gets me a little bit excited that maybe we might be kind of in the home stretch on the off season here. But man, has it been a slog.
It has. And McDavid's pretty good, right? Like, I think he's pretty good at these drills and the hockey.
Yeah, just I don't know, man. I don't know if he could make it in the big leagues. They might take him 10th overall.
I think he belongs in a higher league. Kevin McCurdy, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
No worries. Have a good week, everyone.
There you go. Kevin McCurdy talking to us about the Edmonton Oilers. It is a dry time and for information, but I think that there were some interesting things about the Babcock's his own man, I think, is the one takeaway from what Kevin said that I really think that we should take heart. We have a feeling about the roster, how it's going to look, and Mike Babcock has his own feeling, and that's the one that matters. Like, we could see Matthias Janmark at center, Colton Dock at center, Trent Frederick at center. These things could be true, and we're not talking about them now because it's not in our purview and it's not in our shared experience of the past under Chris Knobloch. Mike Babcock has a different book, and we're going to find out about it next month. But right now, I think our best for us to be is open about it, because that will help. Man, there are a lot of things being sent to us like Nick in Grand Prairie, Bouchard is an obvious choice for the A, and then Kenneth Ekholm is more of a number one than Bouchard is. So we'll chat about that on the way. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick.
Need an excuse to upgrade your ride? Well, we got a few to share. Go Auto has over 18,000 new and used vehicles ready to test drive right now. With more than 70 locations, your perfect match could be closer than you think. A family-friendly SUV for soccer practice, a fuel-sipping commuter, or a hardworking truck that's ready for anything. Trusted brands and a team that's actually happy to help. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Want to invest in Alberta's workforce, fill your talent pipeline, and get funding? Careers, the next generation connects employers with motivated, pre-vetted youth through funded internships. Easy, impactful, and risk-free.
When you work with a group like Careers who have experience in that area, they can demystify and navigate all the complex steps and stakeholders that have to be involved.
Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Election Day is October 19th. Are you referendum ready? Start by making sure you're registered to vote and your information is up to date, especially if you've recently moved or changed your name. Then, check if you have the identification you'll need to vote. The easiest option is a government-issued photo ID showing your full name and current residential address. But there are more than 50 ways to prove your identity. Find everything you need to be referendum ready at elections.ab.ca/voters. A message from Elections Alberta.
I finished a 5K in 94th place, right after a man wearing jeans. Then a volunteer gave me a medal. But I don't want participation trophies, unless they're from Bet365. With their daily prize matcher game, I win by matching gold coins, cherries, and more. Take that, Denim Man. Thanks, Bet365.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
Alberta, this one's for you. Around here, trust takes a few winters. It's why players have known Jackpot City since 1998. Home to hundreds of exciting casino games, live dealer action, and new adventures waiting to be discovered. Jackpot City, nothing beats the original. Please play responsibly, 18 years or older, Alberta only.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Author, musical connoisseur, sports know-it-all. Yes, a man for all seasons.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. It's 1:22. We're going to take a break at 1:35 because we want to make sure we have plenty of time for Declan. And this is his intro to NCAA football. For a lot of you, you've been out and about, oot and a boot. And we're in August now. So when do they start firing up the retros for college, like week one of the schedule?
Well, week 0 is August 29th.
Right. It's week 0, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, Usually there's a couple of really big opening week games, and then it's, hey, it's Alabama versus Guacamole State. And then they go 9-0 during the heart of their schedule.
Well, no, it's so like how it works is generally like the first 3 games are the cupcakes, and then the heart of the schedule gets tough.
Well, there's usually a couple of games on the opening weekend that are at least okay.
Yeah. Like Texas, Ohio State, we're going to see that. Oklahoma, Michigan in week 2.
Right.
It's gotten better for sure. It used to be more so like the first 3 weeks were really not even Guacamole State, like avocados. I don't have a joke here, but it used to be really bad. Now it's like gotten better, and there's a little bit more competitiveness to the early games now. TCU, North Carolina in Dublin to kick off week 0.
Well, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Notre Dame usually loses early to a team that shouldn't lose to. Is there a game on the schedule that looks like that?
We're going to get into that because their schedule, man. I'll tell Vegas has their over under at 11.5 wins. It's a 12-game season, so that should tell you about their schedule. Yeah, but
it's a little easier than I implied. Then
it's this Notre Dame team. I don't want to tip my hand too much for the 140 segment, but there will be some lofty expectations for that club record.
Well, you've let the big news out. You've spread it everywhere. It's all over the segment's ruined.
They play Wisconsin week 1.
Wisconsin used to be good.
They are not anymore. They're just working on scoring touchdowns.
I always like it when I used to have ESPN back in the 80s. We lived at West Edmonton Village. And, you'd tune in at like whatever time. And it would be, all right, it's Bowling Green versus, somebody that you knew a little bit, right?
Those are the best kind of games.
Well, the great thing about sports is you watch it like, this Bowling Green quarterback can throw the ball, And I mean, he's at Bowling Green. He's not going to be drafted first overall. But there's the thing about America is, and like right now they're mad at us, and that's fine. Life goes on. But there's so many great athletes and so many great football players. You could watch Div whatever, and there's somebody there. Grambling has great players, right? There's so many of them.
Yes. Grambling also HBCU, so that's like kind of an added layer to it.
I honestly have never watched an American college football game that was unwatchable.
That's what I'm trying to tell people.
Yeah. No, there's always something. And sometimes it's the band, and sometimes it's the crowd. Like, honest to God, I've never seen adults weep like a college football game. Like Ohio State, if they lose anything, the tears are, it's like grandma died. That's how bad it is.
It really is. That's
right?
Not even an exaggeration.
The worst moment of your life, and it's on national television, and you have made your face up for Ohio State, and now you're weeping through all of the makeup and the paint, and it is just pain, And I think that's, I don't cry about it, but I tell you, it hurt when the Montreal Expos lost and Rick Monday hit that home run. And I still remember what it felt like when Ken Dryden stoned the Bruins in 1971. So, sports matters at some level, Houston up 3, Cobb on Toronto. The Jays not long ago, they were close enough to be in at least the conversation as buyers plus sellers. We knew that probably Kevin Gausman was going to leave because he was a free agent. And they did buy Soriano, right? They made a trade and added a pitcher, but he's also available for next year. So it wasn't like a pure rental. But I have to say that at some level, watching the Jays right now, after last year and the excitement of last year, is like, it's kind of sad. Josh, do you agree with that? Are you like, when you watch them, is it sort of like, oh, remember last year?
Yeah, you can sort of just turn them off quick, like that's sort of where it's at. You're like, oh, it's one of these games, if the Jays score a run in like the first inning, you're like, oh, final score might be 3-2 and they might win.
No,
but they give up a score early. You're like, never mind, this game's over. Like it's written already.
And the irrational rage of baseball is that Hoffman could be in the playoffs.
Yeah. It's because baseball is played every day that people feel like this, and the NFL or whatever is only played once a week.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, when your NFL team loses, oh, all right, well, we'll get them next week. Like, it's okay. You can come back from this. Your baseball team loses one of the 162 games they play in the regular season. You're like, I can't believe it. Season's over. Like, sell everybody off. Like, it's done. It's done.
Yeah.
You start the year 0-1. You're like, it's over. I can't believe I cheer for these bums.
The pain, though, of football is, I'll give you an example of what's painful about NFL football. Today, when I came into the studio, Connor Halley, who'll be back on the Jason Greger show at 2:00. Jason's back tomorrow. I said to Connor, I said, hey, how you feeling about the Chargers? And he said the same thing that he said to me every year I've asked him, which is about 20 years now. They just got to stay healthy. And then, we had that conversation. And then next Tuesday, one really important member of Connor's Chargers is going to get hurt. Don't tell him, and don't tell him I said it, but it happens every year. And it used to happen to me too, but then my Eagles won, and then they won again. And all I want is for Connor to have the Chargers win. And my friend Paul and Josh here, they want Cincinnati to win. And my friend Declan, I would love for Buffalo to win. Connor, what team do you cheer for?
Pittsburgh.
The Steelers. Well, you've won enough. In my lifetime, you've won, what, 5 times?
I think it's 5 times. I think they have
4 with the old team, the Bradshaw team.
Yeah.
Right?
6 Super Bowls. Right, because Brady has 7. Yeah, all right. Because he has one more than the Steelers franchise.
Yeah. Well,
that's how I have to remember. Yeah, Brady.
No, but he didn't do it alone.
Yeah, but he himself has 7 rings.
And no team has more. No team has the most is 6.
Yeah, the most is the Steelers.
Yeah.
And the Pats have 6 as well.
But the Eagles are coming up on the inside track. They've got 2 now.
Yeah.
And they did win the 1961 championship. It wasn't called the Super Bowl.
No, it was not until what year was that? 1967, I think, because the Packers three-peated the Super Bowl, and the year of the three-peat was 1969.
Yeah, and then 70 KC won, or did the Jets win? And then KC won the next year. I can't remember.
I think the Jets and then KC.
Okay. On the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Have you seen those NFL films?
No.
Oh, God.
I have to do a better job of going out and finding these things because, I'm aware that they exist, or Netflix has the whole Untold series and everything.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
the guy
sometimes I don't want to watch a documentary.
The guy who did the voiceover for NFL films, it's the voice of God, right? And everything he says, pass me the chips, would be the same way. But when he says Bart Starr under center, you go chills. It just gives you chills. And then they got the video, and Bart Starr is in the championship game, and it's so cold you can see his breath, and you look at his hand and it's actually frozen, and you're like, holy cow, man. And it just the voice sends it into the stratosphere.
Yeah, honestly, it sounded like you were doing a Peter Cullen impersonation. He's the guy that voiced Optimus Prime, just so you know.
Okay. Well, the guy who did the NFL films, he has perhaps the finest voice I've ever heard for a documentary. It's out of sight. It truly is. All right.
See, my voice like that, or the voice that I attribute to things like that, is the EA Sports guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, EA Sports. It's in the game.
That's really good.
That's about as close as I can get to it.
Pellman says LT Steelers should get some love. Why? Why should the Steelers fans of my age, all they've done is win? And they had that ridiculous catch, the immaculate reception, and they've had 3 coaches. Everybody else is out there pell-mell, willy-nilly every summer. Got to get, we got a new coach. This Arfin Fargo guy is really good, and then he sucks. And the Steelers just go, well, we've had the same guy for 50 years. I don't see a reason to change. And then they win the Super Bowl. No, sir. To hell with the Steelers.
I don't think they're going to be able to keep Mike McCarthy around for that long, but Because he's already what? He's well into his 60s, right? I think he's probably in his mid to late 60s.
Well, they've had, how many coaches have they had since
He's
69?
62. Never mind.
Since 1969, they've had like 3.
Yeah, because it would. Connor, you take this. You're the Steelers fan.
I think they've had 4.
Okay, who are they?
So it's Mike McCarthy now. It's Mike Tomlin, then Bill Cowher, and I've been blanking on the last one for like a week, and I haven't wanted to look it up.
Chuck Noll.
Thank you.
Noel was like, he had the branch of the 74 draft. Can I tell you, do you know the John Stallworth story about the draft?
I do not.
Okay. Are you ready for this? Will blow your mind. Do you know who John Stallworth was?
I do, yes.
Okay. Great receiver. They drafted him the same year, I believe, as Lynn Swann, who was out of USC, and they drafted Swann, I'm going to say, in the first round. Stallworth came much later. The problem was Stallworth played for a really small college, and they only had one thing of tape for the entire league to scout. And Stallworth was a late breaker. People were talking about him, but there was a buzz, but there was no video. So the NFL said, okay, look, we're going to do this fairly. We're going to give the tape to the Steelers. They can watch the tape. And then once they're done watch the tape, they'll send it on to another team. And we'll go all around the league during the offseason. Before the draft, everybody will get to see the tape. Except the Steelers never sent it to anybody because they loved Stallworth. And they ended up getting him. That's the kind of thing the Steelers did. And good on them. If you look at that 74 draft, I don't think anybody's had a better one.
No, they had 4 Hall of Famers that draft, and then I think they did another undrafted free agent make the Hall of Fame as well.
It's crazy. Just nuts. So I am not giving any extra love to the Steelers because they've already had all the love. They've had, if you don't have love, you should get more love. And if you've had love, you can have love again, but I'm not going to go overboard. I'm not going to over reward. I think that's fair. Like the Bengals are out there, like they're out there with a tin cup and a little spoon clanking it. And they're ding, 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 ding. And the Steelers you can see the Steelers. They're eating a steak with their friends and their buddies, and they're having beers, and they're having a wonderful time. And the Bengals are over there with the tin can. So the Bengals get the love, even though they're not going to win the Super Bowl either.
You don't know that.
Oh, come on.
You couldn't know that. You couldn't possibly know that. Do you have a time machine?
Declan, are the Bengals going to win the Super Bowl at the end of this year?
They have a better chance than the Steelers.
To Josh's credit, I don't have a time machine, but I would say no.
Thank you for being honest.
All right. This is a farce.
1:35. We're taking a break. On the way, college football, Declan CAA. Straight ahead. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Jaffa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Recently, our company softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Well, Dale and I are very different. I get early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Thanks, Bet365.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus all. T's and C's apply.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Are you a skilled laborer? All Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience? All Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience searching for work, search All Star Construction on Indeed.
Founded by a former pro motorsports competitor, Evolve Wheels and Tires brings decades of experience in custom wheels, lowering kits, lift kits, and accessories. Visit Evolve Wheels and Tires in West Edmonton, Edmonton's premium wheel specialists. Evolve your ride. Evolve your experience.
Breaking down the fine art of sports. One rep at a time. The Lowdown with Lowetide. Thanks for checking out Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
$14.40 for Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. Prepare yourselves. You're about to get hit with a verbal fire hose on the NCAA. It's Declan CAA. And it's brought to you by the Edmonton Elks. Kick off the second half of the season with a 5-game ticket pack and get a $25 voucher. Get your half-season pass today at goelks.com/tickets. Edmonton Elks, our city, our year. Ladies and gentlemen, Declan Krueger.
All right. What I wanted to do today is take a look at our favorite teams around the station, do a little bit of a record breakdown. So for you, Lowetide, we obviously have Notre Dame. Josh is a Michigan man. Connor Halley, an Alabama fan for some reason. And Brandon Douglas deciding about 1 minute before this show started that he's a Florida State fan. So with that said, is there a team you guys want to start with?
Let's just start with Notre Dame.
You want to start with Notre Dame?
Okay, it's the most important one, so why not?
Lowetide, when I look at this team and I look at this schedule, I think, like, barring something catastrophic, like a program collapse a la Penn State last year or an injury, which you can never see coming, I think 10-2 is the absolute floor for this team. Now, I will say with this schedule, I don't know if 10-2 would get you into the college football playoff because those two losses would presumably come at the hands of BYU and Miami. Which would be two teams that you're now having to be in a resume competition against. And depending how things work out for BYU in the Big 12 or Miami in the ACC, it may not go your way. I think the SMU game is sneaky tough, but they should win it. I'm 50-50 between 11-1 and 12-0.
That's great. Love it.
The schedule is.
I'm holding you to it.
The schedule is very easy. The schedule is a bit of a layup for them. That BYU game on the road, sneaky tough place to play out there in Provo. That Miami game, like I said, that's going to be a get-back game for them. It's probably going to be the toughest game they have to play. They get to play it at home. If I had to be held to one of the two records, I think I would honestly say 12-0.
Love this.
I honestly think when I look at like what this team is doing with CJ Carr returning as the quarterback, the way Marcus Freeman always has elite defenses, the schedule they have and how easy it is, I think it's going to be 11-1 or 12-0. I think, and I think if I had to pick one, I would say 12-0.
You know, Joe Montana is looking right at you and saying thank you and giving you a thumbs up.
And I really think like the floor for this team is 10-2. Granted, something catastrophic, like I said.
No, but that's you know.
Yeah.
it's out there, but unlikely.
Yeah. Let's go over to Michigan, Josh's team. And Michigan, they got a really tough week 2 game against Oklahoma. They get to play it at home. Brent Venables, great defensive coach. That's gonna be a game that tells us a lot about both teams, truthfully. A lot of this season is going to depend on how Kyle Whittingham can transfer what he did at Utah to this Michigan program, and also the development of Bryce Underwood. Because Bryce Underwood, you guys might remember, he got $12 million in NIL money as a 5-star recruit, was originally a Georgia commit, I believe, flipped to Michigan when he got the bag, has played well, but hasn't played like the $12 million man. So this year is going to have to include him taking a step. Their schedule, though, is brutal. They have to play Penn State, Indiana, at Oregon, at Ohio State, and they have to play a UCLA team who I don't think is in the same tier as those guys, but I think is sneaky good. I think high end for this Michigan team, you're looking at 10-2. I think if I had to hold them to a realistic record, though, I would say 9-3. And honestly, this team could be 7-5 with those losses to Oklahoma, Penn State, Indiana, Oregon, and Ohio State. And that might be 5, really hard fought losses, but it's just the reality of the schedule broke for them. Like with how many teams are in the power conferences now, the schedule is a bit of a lottery, and Michigan got the S end of the stick this year. Like they got like I said, Oklahoma, Indiana, Penn State, you get those games at home, but those aren't easy games. Then you have to go on the road to Oregon and Ohio State. So I'll say 9-3. I would guess 10-2 is absolutely where they'll cap out. And it could even be as bad as 7-5 if everything falls apart. I just think they're so up against it schedule wise. Florida State, Brandon's team. I think you look at this schedule and you got 3 guaranteed wins here. New Mexico State, Central Arkansas, and Boston College. I think they'll battle for 2 or 3 more. If I had to hold them to a record, I would probably say 5-7 or 6-6. I also think this is the year Norvell ends up on the hot seat a little bit. He's already kind of been teetering with it. And I know they had a great season in 23 where they went undefeated, were left out of the college football playoff. This is the year I think where he's really, it's like a true show me year for him. And I think their record is going to be 5-7 or 6-6. And I don't think it's going to work out for them. They have 3 wins you can circle right now. And then they probably have 3 or 4 losses you can circle, maybe 5. And then they got a couple of games they possibly could win, but I just don't think it's going to bode very well for them. So I'm going to say 5-7. Alabama, similar to Michigan, they got a really tough 4-game stretch. They got to play Georgia, at Tennessee, home versus Texas A&M, and then on the road in LSU. They also have Vandy after that, which similar to UCLA, but maybe a slight tick above. They're a tier below those other 4 teams, but that's still a really tough out, especially on the road. I think Alabama could be this year's Penn State, where they just implode early and they have a really talented roster and it keeps them in games, but their record is not near what it should be talent-wise. I was looking at the transfer portal rankings. These guys were 39th in the transfer portal in terms of what they were able to do, departing players, incoming players. They had a 0 index score, which means they didn't get any better. They didn't get any worse, to give credit to them. But this was also a 4-loss team last year. Now, granted, one of those losses was in the college football playoff. Georgia kind of has a problem with Alabama, but I just think this is a year where I think this could be a tough year for Bama faithful. They're ranked outside of the preseason top 10, which tells a lot about the returning roster, recruiting class, and transfer portal, like I just mentioned. And then they got a bit of a gauntlet of a schedule, especially in the middle of the season. So I would say Alabama, those 4 games I mentioned, Georgia, Tennessee, Texas A&M, and LSU, I think 2-2 is probably a best case scenario for those 4 games. Although, if they do end up going 3-1 or something, it wouldn't surprise me because it is bad. I guess it would surprise me, but it's still Bama is what I'm trying to say.
No.
So I'll say this is another 9-3 season for this Bama team. And I'll say it's another, not because obviously last year they made it, but the year before they missed. So I'll say it's another missed college football playoff.
Okay.
And then finally, Oregon. Oregon, not the best schedule in the world, but not nearly as bad as Michigan. They got to play at Ohio State. They have that Michigan game that I mentioned. They have to play on the road at USC as their first Big Ten game. They have to play that UCLA team I mentioned as well, and they have to play Washington. Not nearly as bad as Michigan, but I think this is the year everything kind of finally comes together for this Oregon team. I am going to say 11-1, and I haven't done a full because I like to sit down and do a full season prediction for each team and then college football playoff prediction. I haven't done that thoroughly yet, but I would say my early prediction is that this team is in the national championship game versus Texas. I don't know if they'll win, but I think them and Texas are both in that situation where it's time to, and everyone kind of knows they need to take the next step. So I'll say 11-1 in the regular season. And I would guess it's probably that Ohio State game on the road they lose, but they end up in the national championship game.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
What a great matchup.
Oh, my goodness. I know. And Oregon's the team, like, they have 3 losses the last 2 years. All 3 losses are to the team that won the national championship. And 2 years ago, they actually went 1-1 with Ohio State. Now, they got killed in the playoff, absolutely killed. Didn't look like they belonged on the field with them, but they did beat Ohio State at home. So 2 years ago, they went 1-1. Their only loss was to the eventual national champions. Last year, they only had 2 losses, and both losses were to Indiana. One in the regular season and one in the playoff. Again, the eventual national champion. So they got a really good roster this year. The one thing about Oregon as well, I think this is one of, like, truly the only roster you can point to in college football and say there are no question marks. There are no real weaknesses. Like with Notre Dame, as much as I like their roster, how are they going to replace Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price? With Ohio State, it's like, how are they going to replace Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs and Arvell Reese, all these NFL draft picks who were incredible defenders? With Texas, it's like, are they going to be able to protect Arch Manning consistently? You don't have those questions with Oregon. So that's why I have them at 11-1, and that's why I have them in the Natty.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Good stuff.
How much do you love college football? Scale of 1 to 10.
I mean, it's got to be a 10 for sure, but there are other things that are 10s as well. But I would say it's up there.
What are your sports 10s?
My sports 10s?
Yeah.
College football.
Mm-hmm.
Saskatchewan Roughriders football.
Yeah.
A big boxing match.
Right.
And that might be it.
What about the Heat?
The Heat would be like a 9 or a 9.5.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know what? A big boxing match might be a 9.5 as well.
Okay. But like, if it's like, you don't have them anymore, but like, if it's like, number one, the champion versus the number one contender, you'd put that to 10.
Yeah, probably. But 10 is rarefied air. Like, that's special stuff.
Yeah,
that might
no,
even
I
be a
get it.
9.75.
Yeah.
College football Saturdays and the Saskatchewan Roughriders playing football, those are 10s.
Yeah.
You know what else is a 10 though? Coming in here and talking sports with you two.
Well, Connor, you talking about Connor and Josh, or am I included?
No, he's talking about you and Connor. Come on.
I was talking about Brandon and Connor Halley. Are they not in the room right now?
Son of a.
That's just classic Josh Fenwick wit right there.
There you
Tell
go.
what.
That was all Declan, by the way. That entire breakdown was Declan.
What are your 10s sports wise, Josh?
Oh, that's a great question. Okay. Honestly, like, playoff basketball between, like, it doesn't happen often, but like the number one offense versus the number one defense, that's a 10. Just baseball in October, doesn't matter who's playing. It's the best.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
And I honestly couldn't tell you like anything else really.
No.
Like, even like Raptors playoff games, and I love the Raptors. There has to be game 7. That's a 10.
What about you, Connor? Are there any, like, you're young, so I don't even know if you have any 10s that you have developed a passion for yet.
No, not really. Just, again, being, like you said, quite young. Not really.
Same age
10.
as Josh, though. He had some 10s.
But Josh was born with a sports television in his brain, I think. No? You developed it over time? For me, it's game 7s, or any game 7, any draft. You could draft shoes and I'd watch. I'm not kidding. October baseball is definitely a 10. Grey Cup game. I don't feel the same way about the Super Bowl. I just don't. I can't pretend that I do. But the Grey Cup game for me is a 10. I'd say that, like, for me, the 10 is watching a team build. Like, that's the thing that I love most about sports. And that's why the Oilers frustrate the hell out of me right now because they're doing everything to, like all of their cannons. They're like the French in World War II. All of their cannons are pointed in one direction, and they're not spending any time developing youth or bringing up young players. And so you're so vulnerable to attack from behind, and that's why the offer sheets were so obvious as an option. And I think that they did make a what might end up being a fatal mistake if the Oilers don't win a Stanley Cup during the Connor McDavid era. But that's life, and you know. But for me, the 10 would be watching teams develop. You're kind of like that, Declan. Like when you talk about basketball specifically, you often will talk about how teams are built. I know that a lot of times the matchups in basketball are the reason for that. But where would you rate like just watching teams develop over time?
It's a good, I take a lot of enjoyment in it, but like the process of it, I don't want to say it takes away from how much I enjoy, but it's just different. You know what I mean? Like it's different having to kind of quantify things over X amount of a time span versus.
You don't like being patient.
No, it's not that. It's just like, I think maybe the biggest thing for that specifically is like when the payoff isn't there, you're like, well, what was this all about? You know what I mean?
They've wasted my time.
Yeah, but like that's not even the right way of describing. It's just like it is different though. I think you would agree with that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that it's but whatever drives you or whatever you like to do in terms of sport, I think there's very few 10s. We can probably agree on that.
I only had 2 personally.
No. I just love game 7s. Game 7s are so good. Like even I remember in 87, game 7 of the 87 final in the Stanley Cup, the Oilers would win, but it was not obvious they would. And Philadelphia was a great team. And the Philadelphia team would never actually win.
I'd like to amend my Raptors in a game 7. I will take game 7, but not when your team is playing in it. It's simply too stressful. That is not a 10.
Oh, see, I disagree. I would say like a game 7 when your team's playing is a 10.
No, I agree with that. It is a 10.
It is simply too stressful.
It's a vomit 10, but it's also an excitement 10.
Oh, for sure.
Like
it's for sure a vomit 10.
Right? Because like there are game 7 when the Oilers played in 2024. After like they had come back. Remember they had to come back and do it?
I'm aware.
And I was like, I remember saying, if they did all of this just to get clocked in game 7 and they didn't get clocked but they couldn't score, I was like, that is like a vomit moment, you know. I don't mean to be rude. I'm not trying to be vulgar or anything, but that's the best, easiest way to describe a moment where you're anxious and then it's gut-wrenching, but in the bad way.
Listen, guts were wrenched in game 7 of the Jays World Series this year. I'm not even a Jays fan. But like
that was painful.
I was so like, oh my God.
The one pitch that guy get hit out, they sent it to him. Yeah.
Oh, they just Hoffman kept spamming the slider button. Just give him the heat. He was waiting for the slider.
And he couldn't hit the heat. Anyway.
I know.
The game's over several months ago. Connor Halley sitting in for Jason Gregor on the way. Please enjoy your day. Thanks for tuning into the Lowdown.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. For your next move in the Edmonton or area, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. Scores from around the major leagues of baseball. Rays lead the Rockies 3-0 in the top of the third. Rangers lead the Giants 4-0 in the top of the fifth. Cubs up 6-1 on the Dodgers in the top of the fifth. And the Jays and the Astros tied 3-3 in the bottom of the sixth. A little bit later on today, we're going to see the Padres and Diamondbacks as well as the Tigers and Mariners as the late games. And in Hlinka Gretzky, currently Switzerland and Slovakia tied 1-1 at the end of the first period. Czechia and Finland at 3, Sweden and Canada at 5, and the United States and Germany at 7. In the sporting world, Steph Diggs is expected to sign a one-year deal with the Washington Commanders. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.